Welcome to my 10,000 mile review and installation of my brand new suspension. Well, I guess it's 10,000 miles, it's not brand new anymore. But this is a review of the Comfort Coilover system from Mountain Pass Performance. So I filmed a lot of this video before I went on my trip out west. I took a 8,000 mile trip through Montana, from Charlotte, North Carolina, through Montana, down Utah, went to Moab, went off-roading to Arizona, and back home. A wonderful trip. But before I went, I contacted Mountain Pass Performance and said, hey, I'm gonna be going off-road. I already have your lift kit, which is an 1 3/4 spacer, but we need more adjustability and maybe a more comfortable ride, because my Model Y is a performance Model Y. So that suspension, well, first of all, it's lowered, but it's also very harsh. It's a sport suspension, Tesla calls it, but it's set up for a very heavy vehicle. And there's a lot of adjustments that you can do if you have the right suspension. And I've heard from a lot of people that they don't really like the suspension in the Model Y. It's kind of harsh. So I talked to Sasha and Jesse there, and they actually took their Comfort Coilover system with the lift kit, put it on their Model Y, and they've been testing it, which is really cool. And they said it worked out really good. In my videos of my trip out west, because it's been, well, 2 months now, I actually talked about what suspension I have on there. I just didn't really go into detail until now. I'm going to give you my review of it after having it for quite a while, about 10,000 miles. That trip was 8,000 miles, and I probably put about 2,000 miles in the car since then. And let me tell you, you can definitely tell the difference. Even with the weight of everything in the car. I had this rooftop tent on top of the car, which is 135 pounds or 130 pounds, something like that, plus all my gear, plus my wife and I in the car. And we were going off-road, we were driving on the highway. I had it set to the settings that they have listed in there, the basic settings. I never adjusted it on that trip. And actually, I really didn't even test it before I went on the trip. Now, I do have different wheels. I have these Martian wheels. Martian is a great company. They make great wheels. 18-inch wheels that fit over the performance brakes, whether you have a Model 3 or a Model Y. With some Toyo tires, open country tires. These are a 245/60/18. Now, if you put these on, you might rub just a little bit some plastic, but it's just plastic. So if you want a 245/55, I think you'd be fine with that. The 245 is the width of the width of the tire. The 60 is the height of the tire, and then of course the 18 is the diameter of the rim. So if you do that, you're a little bit bigger than stock, which always looks good, and you'll have a nice, more comfortable ride. But if you want an even better ride, Comfort Coilovers. So the springs and the shocks are from KW, and it takes a while to get over here. Things are made over in Europe, and with everything happening in the world, things took a little longer for the kit to get here. So by the time I installed the kit, finished installing the kit, I had 3 days before I left on my trip. Now, if that's not telling you that I had some confidence in the product, I don't know what else is.
Or maybe you're just really stupid.
But I had zero issues driving thousands of miles, taking the vehicle off-road, torture testing the vehicle, and zero issues whatsoever on my trip. Now that I've been home with it, I've actually adjusted the dampening just to see how it feels, and I put it back to stock, what they've recommended on the paperwork, because they have really good instructions. Mountain Pass puts out some good instructions for you on how to install this. But if you're uncomfortable with this because it is suspension, I'm sure there's places that can install it for you. If you talk to a certified body shop of Tesla, I'm sure they can put it on for you. So yes, this is a promotion for Mountain Pass Performance, but I did pay for these coilovers. Mountain Pass does not give anything for free, but they're an awesome company. It's really 2 people there, and Sasha and Jesse are awesome. So I do recommend their products. Hands down, great company. So check them out, there's a link down below, but here's the installation, some of the installation of what I ran into with this, and at the end I'll show you how you can adjust the coilovers. So I went ahead and spent the money on the Comfort kit, and now I'm gonna spend the time putting it together. It has a full replacement of adjustable shocks. You can adjust these up and down, which will lift a little bit. There's a little bit of adjustment here up in the front. I don't wanna drop that. These are the springs in the back, which do have adjustments, so you can lift that up. And these have adjustable dampers, so rebound and damping. So I can make this nice and soft when I'm off-road. Same thing with the back here. And then I also have some tow arms and some camber arms. I plan on lifting the back quite a bit higher than the front. They are adjustable. The dampers are adjustable. So this right here is the top of the shock on the back. And that is for the rebound. So you adjust this dial, and there's recommendations on their website. On the bottom of it is the dampener. So this will adjust the dampener so we can make it nice and soft while we're going off-road. If you want these for your Model Y, slam it to the ground, take it on the track, you can do that. That's what these are for. So you can adjust them super hard so you feel every pebble, but you have great turning capacity. It doesn't roll as much. Or you just want a softer suspension. Like I have the performance suspension on my car, so it's very bumpy, especially off-road. So this is going to allow it to float a little bit better, but not sting like a bee. That was terrible. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get to work now. I've got the camber arms, the tow arms, the strut, so you can still reach the rebound. I can still get in there and adjust that if I wanted to, but I have the spring sitting here and then the spacer on top of that. This is set to 40 millimeters, and that's the highest according to online on Mountain Pass Performance's website goes. We're going to see what that is actually once we put this on the ground. Everything looks pretty good because these are set to the factory distances. So I'm going to get the other side done. This is the spring. It's a little difficult to get in there with the spacer in there. And this sits right on there. There's no, there's nothing in between this. This is tapered, so it fits right in there. It's not going to move at all. But this gasket goes on top of it before it touches this part right here. But I'm going to get this side together and put this side on the ground, roll it back, and see what this is like. So it's all finished. Look how high that is now. It is settled just a little bit because when you lift the car, you're extending the suspension and then it takes a while for that to settle back down. It's settled down, so now that back end is actually up an inch higher. I did forget to measure before I did this. I should have, rookie move. I forgot to measure what they were before. The way you measure it is from the top of the fender well to the center of the center cap. You don't want to measure from the ground because the air pressure can adjust that height, so you want to measure from here to here because it was even from the front to the back, and now the back is up an inch higher than the front, so I think we're good. It's an inch higher. I could definitely feel a difference because I just have the back done, so I could definitely feel a difference in the suspension, how softer it is. I drove it around the block and I hit some bumps just to feel a difference, and from the front to the back hitting the same bump, I can feel a difference because remember, I have the performance suspension, so it's tighter, it's shorter, it's just a stiffer suspension. So this is going to be great, especially when I lower the tire pressure when I'm going off-road to like say 20 PSI. That's going to be an amazing ride. It's going to be smooth. It's going to be, whew, it's going to be very, very nice. Very nice. So it is day 2 on the lift kit. So yesterday I didn't start until about noon. So by the time I finished with the rear end and drove it around a little bit, it was closer to dinner and I was kind of tired. You know, I'm getting older now. It's taking me longer to do things. So today we're going to be doing the front. We're tackling the front, but also I realized that you need a spring compressor for the front. So I went to AutoZone and you can rent that for $50, or actually not, you can rent it. They charge you $50 and when you return it, they give you your money back. So it's kind of free. So we're going to be using the spring compressor to take off the top hat off of the spring so we can apply it to the new set of coilovers and put everything back together. It shouldn't be too difficult, but it's also, it's going to be not too bad. So I must warn you that these things are very dangerous because they're latching on to the spring to give support. So this could go bad. This could go very bad if these loosen up. This is dangerous. If you're not comfortable with this, there's many shops that will do this for you. So here is the spring off completely against the new one. Pretty much flush here. This is a spacer that goes on top of there. So this spring is shorter than the factory one, but you see it's smaller, so it's designed to be that way, obviously. But this is the top hat off of here. We don't need this boot or the bump stop because have those on there. We just need this piece to sit there. Once we compress this, slide it on there, we can bolt this in place and we're ready to go. All right, so I learned the hard way that you cannot use these to compress this spring. What you actually need to do is just lower this all the way down so you can bolt this top piece on, And you have plenty of room because this can move right now. And now I just need to spin this all the way up to the designated distance that I want for this spring. It's going to kind of suck because although they do give you a tool for that, a big wrench, because this will get tighter and tighter. Not the most fun way to do it. I'm all finished with this for now. Looks like we can go up a little bit higher on the front. There's a little bit more space, but the back end is definitely up a little bit higher. I love this. I love this look because I'm going to have a bunch of stuff in the back, which is going to settle this down. And now I've got some great ground clearance. I drove it around the block and it is significantly more comfortable. You know, this is the Comfort Coilovers. And again, if you're interested in a more comfortable ride, maybe you've got a performance and you want some really good shocks that can you can have them for the track or make them really comfortable. This is the way to go. They are, like I said, they are a little bit more expensive, but you get what you pay for. This is super good quality. Now, I did just go around the block just to make sure nothing fell off the car, but I could already tell the difference. My development, they're still building houses and they still have to redo the driveway or the whole drive coming in, and the difference in the bumps, night and day difference. So this is the system installed on the front. This is a Performance Model Y. Right there is a set screw to adjust the height. You can raise and lower this spring to raise and lower the height of the car. Really lower the height of the car. You really need this up here to lift the car up even more. This is an 1 3/4 spacer basically that sits on top of the strut, and then that allows you to, well, first of all, to get that much higher, and then with this spring you can raise the car up probably another 1/2 inch. And then of course the bigger tires actually make a little bit more room, which is really nice when you're going off-road or if you're going for a certain look. But to adjust the spring and rebound, right down in here is where, on the front, this is where you would adjust the suspension system. So if you wanted a softer rebound, but now the top actually has a set screw or a tool that comes with this kit, so you can adjust it from inside the frunk. The rear you can do from underneath the tire. You don't have to take the tire off to do this. I took it off so I can videotape what it looks like in here. But you can adjust the rear from those dials. And just like the one on the bottom, there's numbers on here, but really it's the plus and minus that you really got to go from. And you want to count, and the directions tell you all that stuff. You want to count plus or minus wherever you're at. But as far as the top goes, it's really hard to see in here, but right here, let's see if it can focus on that. Right in there, this would sit right on there, and then as you turn this plus and minus, that will adjust the top of the front ones. The rear, like I said, is set up already in the rear. The rear, like I said, is easy to get to on the top and the bottom, again, without taking off the wheels. That's what's nice about the top. You don't have to take off the wheel or climb underneath the car to do this. So not only does this setup, ride really good, it looks really good underneath the car, but more importantly, it's really going to give you either a stiffer ride if that's what you want, a lower ride if that's what you want, but a customizable ride. And that's always best because, you might be a person that wants a more comfortable ride to work because this is too stiff for you. This is the way to go. You can really soften that up a little bit. But maybe you're a person who, takes it to some canyon roads and you want a little bit better suspension, a little lower to the ground and handle really well. This is definitely the way to go. Or you're like me, you lift it up to the sky, and this is the only way right now to get a good ride off-road. And again, if you're gonna go off-road, you definitely need the skid plate from Mountain Pass Performance as well. That thing definitely saved my butt when I was in Moab. So check out Mountain Pass Performance. Their link is down below. They did not give this to me for free. I did pay for this. So this is just my thoughts. But I've been working with Mountain Pass for a while. Sasha and Jesse have been awesome there. I've helped develop some parts with them or try out some parts for them. And it's just a great crew that they have over there. As always, thanks for watching. Stay awesome, stay positive, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Or maybe you're just really stupid.